Hello. My name is Sandi Sylver, and guess what? I am a storyteller, which doesn't mean I'm a liar. And I love stories, and I love going to the library. How many of you go to the library? Who, hands down, how many has a library card? Oh, good, 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 good. You know, and I find most of my stories and even my songs at the library. So I have a song about my favorite place, and what's my favorite place?
The library.
So what do you think the song is called?
The library.
The Library Song. Saturday morning, rain is pouring. Well, it's not raining in here. It's not Saturday, but you know, it's story time. We can pretend. My mommy worked late last night. She's in bed, snoring. Same old stuff on TV. Boring. So what if I can't go out and play? I know what I'll do today. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. You know, I like books and they like me, so when I go to the library, I sit down in my favorite chair, check to see who's there. Well, maybe one book, maybe two. Take me with, says Winnie the Pooh. And if we have to travel far, I'll bring my honey jar. Oh, I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Sleeping Beauty yawns and says, I'll come when I get out of bed. Madeline says, let her nap, jumps into my lap. Then Cat in the Hat says, hey, I'll go on, oh, take him, shouts Pinocchio. Don't take that cat to your address, he always makes a mess. Doesn't Cat in the Hat make a mess? Yeah. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Mrs. Parker's back behind the checkout desk today. The Cheshire Cat jumps on her head, says, let's play. But Mrs. P says, goodness, are you sure you want all these books? Oh yes, we shout together. She says, shh, 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 quiet, quiet, please. Because you know, when we go to the library till we get to the kids section, we have to be very quiet. There are people, grown-ups, who are reading. They are studying. They are on their computers. They are concentrating. We gotta be quiet till we get to the kids section. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Then the seven dwarves, they began to shout, hey, take us with you, check us out. Cinderella gets her gown, Babar grabs his crown. Then Curious George leaps from the shelf. In walks Mother Goose herself. Out the door we danced and sang, the whole library rang. Oh, I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Picking out a book, check it out, check it in. Picking out a book, check it in. Check it out. And that's the library song.
Do it again.
Yes.
Do it again.
Oh, I'd love to. Oh my goodness, there are people here. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, sure you can. Oh, I'm scared. That's quite okay. You'll get used to it. We're going to have a very good time. Story time anytime. No, 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 no. Toodles, come on. Why don't you say hello to everybody? Hello. No, You have to look at them when you say hello. Hello. Silly, silly, silly. Come on, you're the star.
Twinkle, twinkle,
Why don't you tell them all about the story?
'cause I'm too shy.
Are you sure?
No, I just do this to get attention. Hi, how you doing? We got a really good story for you.
That's great, but Toodles, what happened to your hair?
What do you mean?
Well, it looks like your hair had a party last night.
What? It looks like yours got into a fight and lost. That's a silly thing to say.
I know, but I like to be silly. So let's talk about the story.
Oh, yeah. This is a story all about a gigantic,
A gigantic?
humongous,
Humongous?
enormous,
Enormous?
meatball!
A story about a meatball?
Yeah, it's a runaway story about a runaway meatball. And it's so good. It's a very tasty story, too.
Well, I'm very glad it's a tasty story, too.
Will you help me tell the story?
I certainly will, and I hope everybody else helps to tell the story.
Good, because we can't do it without you. It's a gigantic, enormous,
Enormous?
humongous,
Humongous?
meatball! Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Toodles. I'm 6 years old, and I am learning to read. I love it. Can you read what my button says?
What does the button say? Reading is super.
And it really, really is. And this is Sandi. She's my driver. She takes me to my shows, and we're going to do a story together. And will you help us tell the story?
Oh, good, because we need your help.
Because this is a story all about a little girl named Rosie. And Rosie's Auntie Neela was coming to visit. And Rosie was really, really, really excited.
That's because Rosie really, really loved her Auntie Neela, and her Auntie Neela really, really loved Rosie.
And you know what else? Auntie Neela really, really loved to eat spicy meatballs. And Rosie had a big surprise planned.
Rosie was going to make a very special lunch for her Auntie Neela.
Yeah, she was planning to make one gigantic,
Enormous,
Enormous.
humongous
Humongous.
meatball.
Meatball.
that was gonna be the big surprise. She wasn't going to make lots of little ones, no, no, no.
She was going to make one gigantic,
One gigantic.
enormous,
Enormous.
humongous.
Humongous.
Meatball! And so she started to get ready.
She took 5 pounds of chopped meat. That was a lot of chopped meat. And she put it in the biggest bowl she could find.
And then she started to cut up some onions and some garlic. And because Auntie Neela liked things really spicy, she cut up some chili peppers and then added salt and pepper and eggs. And then she smunched it all together in that big bowl.
She smunched it and smunched it and smunched it and mixed it all up. And then she put some in her hands and rolled it and made a ball.
She added more meat and the ball got bigger.
She added more and more meat, and the ball got bigger and bigger.
She added more and more and more meat, and the ball got bigger and bigger and bigger, until she had one gigantic, enormous, humongous meatball.
And that meatball was so big, she could barely get it into the oven. But she squeezed it in and closed the oven door.
And then she sat at the kitchen table to wait for it to cook.
and she set the timer, and she figured when the bell rang, she would take the pot holders and take that meatball out of the oven.
But you know what happened? That book was really good, and she didn't hear the timer ring. And suddenly, there was a loud crash!
And the oven door flew open.
And out jumped the gigantic, enormous, humongous meatball!
It jumped out of the oven and it rolled around the kitchen floor.
And Rosie put her hand in the air and she said, "Stop, meatball, stop!"
Can you do that with Toodles? Can you say, "Stop, meatball, stop"?
That was really good. But you know what? You know what the meatball said? The meatball said, "No way, Jose."
Can you say that and shake your heads? No way, Jose.
And the meatball continued to roll around the kitchen, and then it began to sing.
It was a singing meatball?
Yeah, it sang, "Na, na, 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 you can't catch me." And he rolled out the kitchen door.
And he rolled right into the driveway, just as Auntie Mila was pulling up in her car.
And Auntie Mila saw that runaway meatball, and she put her hand in the air.
Remember, put your hand in the air and say, "Stop, meatball, stop."
But the meatball didn't stop. It shook its head and said, remember, "No way, Jose." And then it began to sing, "Na, na, 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 you can't catch me." And he took off rolling toward the barn, and Auntie Mila chased the meatball.
And Rosie chased Auntie Mila.
And right outside the barn, all the chickens were pecking on the ground. Do you know what a chicken sounds like?
Oh, yeah.
And the chickens saw the meatball coming,
And the chickens put their wings in the air. Put your wing up.
and the chicken said, "Stop, meatball, stop." But the meatball didn't stop, but it said, "No way, Jose." And it just kept rolling and singing, "Na, na, 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 you can't catch me." And the chickens chased the meatball, and Auntie Mila chased the chickens, and Rosie chased her.
And those chickens rolled right into the barn. And you know what animal was in the barn? Well, there was a bunch of them. They were cows. What does a cow sound like? Moo. That's right. And the cow put his hoof in the air.
Help me. And he said, "Stop, meatball, stop." But the meatball didn't stop. It said, "No way, Jose." And it began to sing, "Na, na, 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 you can't catch me." And he rolled away, and the cows chased the meatball,
And the chickens chased the cows.
and Auntie Mila chased the chickens,
And Rosie chased her. And they ran right out into the fields. And that's where the donkey was.
What sound does a donkey make? Hee-haw, hee-haw. And that donkey saw that runaway meatball, and he put his hoof in the air, and he said, "Stop, meatball, stop."
But the meatball didn't stop. What did it say?
"No way, Jose." And it rolled away and sang, "Na, na, 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 you can't catch me." And the donkey chased the meatball.
The cows chased the donkey.
The chickens chased the cows,
Auntie Mila chased the chickens.
and Rosie chased her. And the meatball didn't have any place left to go, so he rolled back to the house and into the kitchen and tried to jump into the pot in the oven.
But he was so big and very dirty. But that meatball squeezed himself right back into that pot.
And when he squeezed himself, all the dirt came off. And that's when Rosie and Auntie Mila came back into the kitchen.
And they took that meatball and they cut it all up.
And they had a wonderful lunch.
And then they took the rest of that meatball and fed it to the chickens
And the cows.
and the donkey.
And that's the end of the gigantic,
Enormous.
humongous meatball. And that's a nice story, and I'm sticking to it. The end. And the people behind, like, Wait, what are those things rolling down?
Well, those are the credits. Those are all the people who are involved in presenting this.
Wow, there's a lot of names. They were all here?
No, no, no. They were people who allowed this to all happen, but they're not all here with us.
No, because there were just some children and some kids and camera people, but look at all those names. What a big job. Boy, these people were really generous.
They were, and that's why we have story time anytime, because we had a lot of help.
But that's a lot of help. That's a lot of people.
That's the truth. Couldn't have done it without all of those folks.
Wow, it's still going. On and 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 on. That's a lot.